All right, today we're repairing a Kia Sorento. It had some damage from wood stain. The way wood stain works is it bonds the pores of the penetrates the pores of the surface and bonds to it. So cars have a porous surface, so what happened is it landed on here, bonded to it, and now we have to remove it. So we've got three areas here. The first we're going to show you it's called Pre-Coat Eco Clean by IGL. This is basically the same as isopropyl alcohol. It's a little bit stronger. What this will do is remove any residual oils, any surfactants, things of that nature. So if you want to get a shot here, you can see all these specks. That's all the wood stain that's penetrated and bonded to the surface. These will not rub off with your finger or anything. It's not going to come off. You'd have to have extreme force, which would damage the paint, to even attempt to get these off, which is the wrong way of doing that. So we'll get a light in here and kind of show you so you can see it better. You can see all the damage from the stain here. So what I'm going to do is, again, use the IGL, the Pre-Coat Eco Clean, which is a stronger version of isopropyl alcohol. We're just spraying it on a microfiber towel. I'll even mist a little bit on here, and I'm going to simply rub it. I'm going to use a little bit more force than I normally would, just to show that no matter how much force you put on this, it is not going to remove this stain. So it's still there. It has not really improved it much or at all. There's still a lot of marks, a lot of staining. So this does nothing. I'm then going to use an alkaline degreaser. This is just an orange degreaser. This is diluted 10 to 1. I'm going to spray this on the microfiber towel, and I'm going to, again, wipe this on here with a little bit of force. And you can see it improves it a little bit, but there's still quite a bit of marking on there. It did not get rid of all of it. So it's still there, it's still on the paint. With an enhanced light, you can see what it does is it swirls the paint, which that's not what we want to do. But you can see all the remaining spots. It reduced some of them. It did not get rid of nearly anywhere what we need to. If anything, we've damaged the paint, which that's what excessive rubbing and wiping will do. It will damage the coating. So the last thing I'm going to try is I'm going to switch my towel and have a completely different towel. I'm going to use IGL Delete, which is a heavy acid, and this will remove any base, oils, mineral staining, water spots, if it can. So I'm going to do this spot here, so you can see this still has heavy amounts of the staining from the wood. So again, I sprayed that on there. I'll spray it on here again just for proper documentation. I'm going to apply it, wiping it more than excessively. And there's really no change. All of the specks are still there. So we can see that this was where the isopropyl and the degreaser was. All it did was swirl up the paint. The acid did not do any repair whatsoever. All the specks are still there. So the only way we can remove these is by mechanical abrasion, which is polishing. So what we're going to do now is take a dual action polisher and just apply a couple dabs of polish. So the only way to get the staining off is by removing the coating, because it's compromised the coating, so we have to polish it off. So right here is another area that is untreated. It was only washed, so you can see all the specks, all the staining. So what I'll do is I'm actually going to apply it to both of these areas because we've already seen that. car's been polished. You want to come over here. So we can see that this is an area that's untreated. You can see all the specks all right here. And then this is an area that's been polished. And I'll actually wipe the lens of the camera here because it's a little hazy. Get on the opposite side. So we can see that we have to do a second stage of polishing, but we can see how much cleaner the paint is here compared to here. All of these specks all still remain. So you can see right here in this middle, that's where the tape was. That's an untreated section that we didn't even polish. You can see all the specks, and as you pan over, you can see as we spend more time, it removes the specks. And you can still see there's some left over. Even after polishing, we have to do a second stage of polishing to get these off. Obviously, it's a lot easier with bigger, flatter surfaces, but this is just an example. If you move over here, we can see too, this lower portion of the car has been polished. If we move up here, this has not been. So this was actually deleted. We were doing testing on it here. You can see the box. There's still all this speckling and staining from where the wood stain, where the car has not been polished, and down here it is. So the only way to remove this staining, isopropyl alcohol is not an option, degreaser is not an option, and acid is not an option. The only way we can do it is by polishing the entire car, removing the affected area, and then reapplying the coating to the car. So that is the means of repair for this specific vehicle in conjunction with what happened with the wood staining. So.